إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير السنن سنن محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد فقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب الله العظيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. فقال سبحانه وتعالى في مكان آخر ويسألونك عن ذي القرنين قل سأتلو عليكم منه ذكرا إنا مكنا له في الأرض وآتيناه من كل شيء سببا صدق الله العظيم. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today in my khutbah I would like to tell you a story of Dhul Qarnain. It is mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf, and as you all know, Surah Al-Kahf is a recommended surah to be recited on Fridays. It is a sunnah tradition of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to recite Surah Al-Kahf on Fridays. And there are 4 stories mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf. And I remember I have given khutbah about 2 stories. Story of Ashab al-Kahf, which is people of the cave, and also story of person of 2 gardens. Previously I have given khutbah long back about this subject. Today I would like to highlight on the story of Dhul Qarnain. And in Quran, geography, historical details, and chronology, and these kind of things are not highlighted in the story. What is highlighted is lesson to be learned. And the intention of reading Quran and reading stories in the Quran should be lessons to be learned. And most importantly, we have to learn the lesson what is relevant for us today. So let us try to learn the lesson from the story of Dhul Qarnain. Quran says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ. They asked about Dhul Qarnain, who Jewish people and Quraysh, they wanted to test if Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the real prophet, and if he knew about the historical events. And they asked a couple of questions. And one question was about Dhul Qarnain. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that I'm going to reply. And then later on, revelation of Quran came, and Quran gives description about Dhul Qarnain. قُلْ سَأَتْلُو عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْهُ ذِكْرًا. The Prophet Muhammad said that I am going to give you a brief account of Dhul Qarnain. Dhul Qarnain was a great king, and he has a big history. And what I am going to give you is a very brief account, not the whole illustration, not the whole history, but a brief account about Dhul Qarnain. إِنَّا مَكَّنَّا لَهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. We have given him great power and lot of resources and all kinds of resources on the earth. So the first lesson we have to learn from here is all kinds of resources and power granted to people is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's also a blessing. Allah Ta'ala has given blessing of power and resources to many people, many virtuous people as well. We read the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam, Dawood alayhi salam, and also Dhul Qarnain here. And also if you see Islamic history, after the migration of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, For several hundred years, Muslims were very powerful. Allah Ta'ala has granted them power and resources. So all kinds of power and resources and blessings come from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's why Allah Ta'ala says, Inna makkanna. We have given him power. وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. And we have granted him all kinds of resources. So this is from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Any resources we have, it is from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So this is the first lesson we have to learn. فَأَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. And he set out for an expedition. So here, the second lesson. He was given great power, he had all kinds of resources, but he was not increasing his luxuries. When Allah Ta'ala grant you lot of resources and material things and in the form of to live lot of things to live a better life in this world, do not increase your cost of living, but increase your cost of giving. Normally we have seen that people, when they are bestowed with a lot of blessings, they increase their cost of living, they increase their luxuries. But here the example of Dhul Qarnain is that Allah Ta'ala has given him a lot of things. So he said, yes, he has given everything, let me now look for luxuries, look for enjoyments, look for amusements. That was not the intention of Dhul Qarnain. He said, let me look for the people who are missing so many blessings of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and most importantly, Hidayah of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Let me go there and let me make a positive impact in the people of various, people of living in various places. So he continued his journey. So here, second lesson, what we have to do, what we have to understand is that continuous improvement, continuous development. And when Allah Ta'ala bestowed you so many things, making an impact on the lives of the people, other people, that's very important. So he set out for an expedition, not only with the intention of expansion, but to bring a positive change in human life. حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين حمية وجد عندها قوما. So he set out and reached the place where sun is setting in a muddy water, and he found a community there. Again, here Quran is not mentioning about geography, about location, about historical details, and it is mentioned in so many tafasir. So I have no time, and with limited time, I am not going into the history, geography and all these things. He went to a place and he found a community where sun was setting. That means he went towards the west side, a western area he went. Then he found a community there, and when he found the community, he said, Allah said, قُلْنَا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ O Dhul Qarnain, إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبَ وَإِمَّا أَن تَتَّخِذَ فِيهِمْ حُسْنًا. Now you are free because you have conquered this place. Now you are free to punish them or to treat them in a nice manner. So usually you can see when people conquer a place, we have a lot of history of colonialism and history of people occupying one place to other. History is full of these kind of details. What they usually do is, when they reach new place, they wage atrocities against those people. So Allah Ta'ala says you have an option to do whatever you want. So what he opts for, what is his selection? He is free. When an occupier is free, he sometimes wages atrocities. But that was not the intention of Dhul Qarnain. He said, قَالَ أَمَّا مَنْ ظَلَمَ فَسَوْفَ نُعَذِّبُهُ. He said, whoever is doing wrong, I am going to punish them. ثُمَّ إِرَدْتُ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ فَيُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا نُكْرًا. Then they will be turned back towards Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, their Rabb, and Allah will give punishment as well. Bad people will be punished. And the final punishment for the bad people is not on this earth, but they will be punished in the life hereafter when they meet their Lord. But وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلَهُ جَزَاءً الْحُسْنَى وَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا. But those people who believe and do good deeds, for them is the best reward. And also we make them easy rules and regulations so that they can lead a good life. Here you can see that whenever you are given an opportunity to make a difference in the human life, here what Zulkarnain cared for, he said, wrongdoers will be punished. But for the people who are believing and who are doing good deeds, for them there will be a beautiful reward. And also there will be easy regulations to follow good things. If you see any society, regulations are not easy for good people and regulations are not easy for good things. For example, make analysis of the various societies. What is easy there? Some people in places, prostitution is easy, gambling is easy, all kinds of wrong entertainments are easy, alcohol is easy, whereas sometimes going to prayer is not easy, listening to call of adhan is not easy, wearing complete covering attire is not easy, hijab is not easy. This kind of society you will find in the world. So what here Zulkarnain cared for is that for wrongdoers we will punish them, but ultimately punishment will be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will try to set them right. Punishing in the sense with the fear of punishment, they should shun their bad things and become a good people. But for good people, there will be reward, and we make all regulations which is easy for them to follow. A good society is that a good people, good person should feel comfortable to live there. Because everything, whatever good things are there, I can do it. Halal is easy here, haram is difficult here. That society is a good society. You can see that not every society is this kind of society. Many societies are societies where bad things are easy, doing good things or following deen is not very easy. So this kind of positive change he brought among these people. When he went there, he found that they are civilized people. They were, very civilized people, but they were missing the deen. So Zulkarnain conveyed them the deen and established a society where it is easy to follow deen. This positive impact he brought. Then Zum'ah atba'a sababa. Then he said, okay, I conquered one more place. Now it's time to relax. That was not the case with Zulkarnain. Continued improvement, continued development. Whenever Allah Ta'ala is granting you health and granting you wealth, granting you blessings, granting you power, then always you look for continued improvement and continued development. This is another lesson we have to learn, that as long as we have power, as long as we have money, as long as we have resources, as long as we have abilities to do, care for continued improvement and care for continued development. That's what he did. Zulkarnain, he conquered the whole place, he established the rule there, and he brought a big change there, but he continued. He again continued. ثم أتبع سببا حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا. Finally, he went to a place where sun is rising. Another place. But those people, about them it says, لَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُمْ مِنْ دُونِهَا سِتْرًا. They didn't have shelter for them to live. Probably it is an uncivilized society. He went to a civilized society before, and he brought a change there. And here, when he went, he found that there are basic needs are missing there. No shelter is there. And Allah Ta'ala says, كَذَلِكَ وَقَدْ رَحَتْنَا بِمَا لَدَيْهِ خُبْرًا. And we are very well aware of what is there in the mind of the Qarnain. Allah Ta'ala is not mentioning about rules and regulations which he imparted and which he implemented in this new society. In the first society, he implemented rules and regulations because all other basic things were there. But in this society, there were no basic things. People had no shelter. So probably Zulkarnain cared for basic things. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ gave us this example. For example, when he went to Medina, lot of basic things were missing there. Food was a big problem. Grains was a big problem. There was a crisis for the grains, crisis for the food. Water was a scarce thing there. There was no water. Water scarcity was a big issue. And cleanliness was a big issue in Medina. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam cared for all these basic things. Food problem was solved, grains problem was solved, vegetation was increased. He said whoever cultivates the land will be given to him. And whoever, if it is possible for him to dig a well, let him do it. So water crisis was solved, food crisis was solved, and cleanliness. The whole Medina was, people made a cleanliness drive, and they changed the whole Medina and made it a clean city and changed the name to Yathrib. So first thing what they did is cared for the basic needs of the people. So this shows us that in Dawah, what is important is that when people are in crisis, people are concerned about their basic needs. Your first need is to address their basic needs. So here, Qarnain again went to a place where people were suffering. Again, this again shows that, Qarnain's concern was not only going to a place where they have some benefits. If you see in the world, people are interested in one place because of the wealth there. For example, if there is a oil, whole world is interested in that place. If there are minerals, whole world is interested in that place. If there are gold mines, people are interested in this place. Or sometimes if there is a good number of people, if there is a large number of people, consumer society, then the world is interested about that place. If people have nothing, people are not interested. So Qarnain is not like that. He went to a place where people had nothing, but he cared for them, and he cared for bringing them basic resources and basic needs. Then again he continued. Then continued. He went to 2 places. Then he did not stop. What's the lesson it gives? It gives that again continued improvement, continued development. As long as you have abilities, continue striving for good things. He went to a new place. And he said, حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ بَيْنَ السَّدَّيْنِ وَجَدَ مِنْ دُونِهِمَا قَوْمًا لَا يَكَادُونَ يَفْقَهُونَ قَوْلًا. Then he went to another place. This place was between 2 mountains. And the problem with them was, لَا يَكَادُونَ يَفْقَهُونَ قَوْلًا. They were not understanding any language. Communication was difficult. And you can see that communication was difficult in many societies. And people, at that time, he did not say that, okay, this place I cannot understand, I cannot speak their language. Let me not go there. Let me not care for them because they speak different language and it is difficult to understand them. So that was not his concern. They are human beings. The biggest language is language of the heart. Everybody understands language of the heart. And if you see Islamic history also, when Muhammad bin Qasim, after 100 years of migration of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, reached Sindh, India, he didn't know Hindi. He didn't know Indian language. But he reached there. After that, Muslims lived there until today. You can see the whole area is Muslim. They communicated with the language of the heart. And also Tariq bin Ziyad, after 100 years of migration of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he reached Spain, he didn't know Spanish language. But after Tariq bin Ziyad reached there, for 800 years Muslims were ruling in Spain. So what was the language they communicated? The language communication is the language of the heart. And this language is a great language. Actually, one Kuwaiti sheikh told me a very interesting story. He's a very well-known sheikh in Kuwait. He told me an interesting story. He said one Kuwaiti gentleman, a da'i, was interested to do da'wah in Japan. But he said, I don't know anything about Japanese language, how can I go there? He said, but I am interested. He said, he took a ticket, he went to Japan. With some brochures, books, other things in Japanese language. He went to a very famous company, Mitsubishi, for example. He went there, he met some people, and they started speaking. He didn't know what to tell. Then finally he showed his tongue. La ilaha illallah, he said. That was the only thing he knew, or that was the only thing he could communicate. So Japanese man was very curious. What is this word, La ilaha illallah? He said, okay, right, I wrote it down. La ilaha illallah. After that, this Kuwaiti da'iya, he came back. But this Japanese man, he made a research about La ilaha illallah. He went to Google, he found out what is La ilaha illallah, he made a research about it, and this research continued, and he became Muslim. And one day, when this sheikh, who wanted to went to Japan, went to Umrah, one Japanese man came running. He said, okay, you know me? He said, I don't know. He said, you came to Japan once upon a time, and you told me La ilaha illallah and showed your tongue. I made a research on that, and today I am Muslim and meeting you in Haram, in Masjid al-Haram. So this is, what is the language he used? The language he used is language of the heart. There is a beautiful Urdu couplet. It says, दिल से आई हुई बात असर रखती है, पर नहीं ताकत परवाज़ मगर रखती है. Any language which is communicated has from the heart has its own impact. It has no wings, but it can fly because it is the language of the heart. So here, Qarnain spoke to them in the language of the heart, and they started communicating, and they said, قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا. They started communicating. Our problem is Gog and Magog are coming and creating a lot of mischief here. Can you create a wall, erect a big wall, and we are ready to pay you tax? You know, people are doing anything against tax. If you see any society, there is no tax-free society, but alhamdulillah, Kuwait is a tax-free society. There are only some societies which are tax-free. In Kuwait, you will see no tax. In some societies, tax is a big problem. Everybody is feeling the pressure of it. GST, sales tax, income tax, all kinds of taxes. For everything, there is tax. But alhamdulillah, Kuwait is a free society where there is no tax. And Dhul Qarnain's society was a tax-free society. He said, whatever Allah is given is enough for me. There is what Allah has given for me. I need not have to tax from you to bring any change. What you have to do? Help me with the manpower. He asked for the manpower. Give me manpower. That means he gave them jobs. And he said, become my employees. Allah has given a lot of things to me and work for me so that I can solve your problem. Their problem was Gog and Magog was coming in big numbers and creating a lot of mischiefs in the society. So he said, I will help you. You can help me by manpower and I will give you employment. And also not only that, he initiated a big project. If you see any projects, any places, if you see big Google, new projects coming in somewhere. For example, in Kuwait, new projects. For example, in 1940, when Kuwait oil company started in Kuwait, Kuwait was different then. Before that, Kuwait was different. Camels, poverty, difficulty of life, that was there in Kuwait. And once the oil started, export of oil started, everything is different. And lives of the people are different. And people are bestowed with a lot of blessings. So he started a project. He said, Atuni Dhubar al-Hadid, bring me iron plates. Hatta idha sawa bayna sadafaini harum, and cover the whole area between two mountains. It's a big project. Can you imagine two mountains? Between them, bring iron plates and fill the whole area with the iron plates. And where to bring iron plates from? That means it is a local production. He said, start producing this. And that's again a project. Production of iron ore, and extraction of iron ore, and making plates. Imagine how many people are getting jobs. It was a big project. Bring it and fill the whole project. Maybe it took several years. It gave jobs to the several thousand people. It changed the scenario of the whole area. And after that, fire it. Lit it up so it becomes red. Then bring me molten copper to pour on it. So copper is also from the local produce. Copper, iron, human beings, work, life. So he made a whole area, a place where they can get jobs, where economy is booming. He made a positive change. And also he created that big wall, and such a big wall that the menace of Gog and Magog stopped. فَمَا اسْتَطَاعُوا أَن يَظْهَرُوهُ وَمَا اسْتَطَاعُوا لَهُ نَقَبًا. It was such a big wall that Gog and Magog could not climb on the wall or make a hole and pierce through the wall. So such a big wall was created and people got their jobs and there was no menace of Gog and Magog. And after doing all these things, what he said? قَالَ هَذَا رَحْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. This is all from the mercy of my Lord. So when you are contributing positively to human beings, I did it. That's not the response. This is all from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah's mercy was not there, I would not have done this. So again, this is a big lesson. Try to make a positive change in human life. But again, develop humility. Say that this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is not from me. And a lot of people say that if you get a job to someone, they say, I got a job. Where was he? I brought him to Kuwait. Or I did him this. So you keep saying this. But he did a big positive change in the whole society. Then he said, this is all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي جَعَلَهُ دَكَّا. And again he said that when the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes, this wall may be perished. It is a big, huge wall if you see it has created, and it wall may perish. If you see so many things perish in this world, it will not be forever. So Allah ta'ala gives power to some people, gives something to some people. It will perish one day. Oil was not there 100 years before. Allah ta'ala blessed with oil in this region. And Allah ta'ala blessing with other kinds of blessing to other regions. So it's all, anything is not permanent. Change will happen. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. Allah ta'ala is changing the times between the people. And وَكَانَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي حَقًّا. And promise of my Lord is truth. From these verses, what we can understand is that we have to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we get power or opportunities or resources, try to make a positive change in the human life. And always care for continued development and continued improvement. And when Allah ta'ala gives you a lot, do not increase your cost of living, but increase your cost of giving. And treat people according to their situation. In one place, he did rules and regulation. In another place, he cared for the basic things. In third place, he utilized the local resources, local manpower, and he changed the society. And after doing everything, bring a humility. May Allah ta'ala make us to understand these things and to follow it in our life. Barakallah lana wa lakum wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bi ayatihi wa dhikril hakim. Innahu ta'ala jawadun kareemun malikun wa rahufur rahim wa rabbul halim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala rasulihil ameen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi al-tahirin amma ba'd. Faqala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fil Qur'an al-Majid wal Furqan al-Hamid. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala an-nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin bi'adadi man salla wa sallam. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد بعدد من قعد وقام. اللهم صل على جميع الانبياء والمرسلين وعلى سائر الصحابه والتابعين وخلفاء الراشدين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم اجمعين. اللهم ايد الاسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم. اللهم اخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم اجعل هذا البلد آمنا مطمئنا رخاء سخاء وسائر بلاد المسلمين. عباد الله رحمكم الله. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. واذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر وأقم الصلاة.